We're here for Walter Scott. Family received $5 million a couple of months ago. We're here for Jonathan Farrell. Some of the other unknown individuals that's been shot in Charlotte, Aaron Winchester,
yes, sir.
Brother Brown and others. The list goes on and on. Brother that was shot at North Lake Mall,
yes, sir.
I think on Christmas Day or the day before Christmas. All of these shootings across the country. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
That was last hour, one of the activists speaking out after the death of Keith Lamont Scott, an African-American man who was shot and killed in an encounter with police yesterday. The shooting prompted protests overnight. And joining me now is the president of the NAACP chapter in Charlotte, Mecklenburg, is Corinne Mack. Thank you so much, Ms. Mack, for joining us. At this point, how are you judging or measuring this investigation, the amount of information that's being released to you and the public?
Very little information is being released to us, which is a concern for me. Clearly, we believe in transparency, and I think it's important that the police allow us to know what's going on. What you may not know is that under the HB2 law, there are some restrictions for the police department in terms of releasing information, but we still would prefer for the citizens to know exactly what's going on every step of the way. I think it's best for the entire city.
Right now, there are conflicting reports. As you well know, authorities say that Mr. Scott was armed. His family members say that he had a book. Police say they did not recover a book, that they recovered a gun. But what we know to be, I guess, a fact, if you will, is that the officer who shot Mr. Scott was not wearing a body camera. The uniformed officer there, they were wearing body cameras. Clearly, this could help in the investigation. Sometimes it does not clear these answers up, but it could provide more detail.
This is true, but I want to be very clear about something. Whether or not Mr. Scott had a gun or a book is not the issue. The issue is that Mr. Scott is dead. There have been quite a few incidents where our white counterparts had guns, and the police officers de-escalated the problem, and those individuals were allowed to go home safely with their families. Mr. Scott didn't have that opportunity. Mr. Scott is no longer with us. His family is suffering. They are in pain. They are in mourning. So when I hear as a first line of defense, oh, he had a gun, that's disturbing for me, because once again, it's demonizing the victim. And I'm asking for not only the city, not only the police department, but all of media to really look at that, how African Americans are treated, when in fact we are the victims, and many times we are deceased.
Let me lastly ask you, last night we had protests, tear gas dispersed. Are you concerned at this point if police don't provide more information and try to transparency that you and others are calling for, that we could see another night like last night?
That's possible. The fact remains that African Americans are still angry and will continue to be angry until we get justice. We haven't received justice. We haven't had one police officer held accountable for the killing of an African American in this country of late. And we really are sick and tired of it. We really are.
Corinne Mack with the NAACP in Charlotte. We will keep an eye on all of the developments. And thank you, Corinne, for joining us today. We appreciate that. And we'll be back right after this.